Hey there, it's Henry here from Midtown Comics. We are live from Grand Central, 459 Lexington Avenue, right off the corner of 45th Street. It's New Comic Book Day. There's a world of great books to come out this week. We've got Marvel, we've got DC, Boom, IDW, Dynamite, and so much more. So many great books came out this week. We're going to walk down the wall and we're going to talk about a lot of these great hits. So we're going to get started right off the bat talking about Zombies. Zombies is, of course, a manga interpretation of the Marvel Zombies storyline. It's been translated with work from Jim Zub, and it's very cool. It's a great reimagining of the Marvel Zombie storyline. Then we've got X-Men Blue, and of course, right here on the cover, we've got the return of Jimmy Hudson. Jimmy Hudson, of course, from the Ultimate Universe, one of the crossover characters. If you have been reading this series and you want to see the follow-up, why these characters from the Ultimate Universe are suddenly reappearing, you got to check this out. It's been a great run. It's issue number 5 from Cullen Bunn and Julian Lopez. Very cool, very fun. Then continuing with some resurrection titles, we've got the newest issue of Generation X from writer Christina Stain and Amilcar Pina. Very cool series, very fun. I love the X-Men books that get to focus on the students. I think it's really fun, it's really exciting, and it's very cool to see what these fresh characters can bring. Of course, we've got Quentin Quire, iBoy, who I'm a big fan of, and Jubilee, the 90s icon of the X-Men herself. Very cool to see. We're going to keep on going down. We've got the Mary Jane variant for All New Wolverine, and of course the regular cover. Tom Taylor has been absolutely killing it on this book, giving us a really great in-depth story with Laura Kinney. Very cool. The former X-23 on her own, and now in her new costume that she's been in for the last couple issues. The book has such a great direction, and it's been very cool. Then we also have the newest issue of Weapon X. Now, this issue begins the Weapons of Mutant Destruction storyline. Of course, if you've been reading Weapon X, you've seen that there are these nefarious forces that are dealing with mutants that are trying to hunt them down, that have been trying to get the best of Sabretooth and of Wolverine himself, Old Man Logan. And it's been very cool. We're just going to take a quick flip through this. This storyline is a crossover with Totally Awesome Hulk, also written by Greg Pak. So if you're checking it out, you got to check out both. There, of course, is Totally Awesome Hulk himself, Amadeus Cho. Very cool to see this crossover. Weapon X is a go-to book for me because I'm a big Domino fan. So any book she pops up in, I got to check it out. Also have the very swag cover for Inhumans for the new ABC show. Very excited for that. But it's super great. Don't want to get too much into it, but it's really great to see this really brand new direction for the title. We get to see the Hulk and Wolverine meeting in a way we've never seen before. Of course, moving down the line, we've got the director's cut of Vision. Vision was one of the huge breakout hits from Marvel from 2015 and 2016, and this is the director's cut. Now, this does include issues 1 and 2 of the series in their entirety, as well as a lot of back matter. Now, just to show off some of that stuff, I'm going to take a flip through, and we're going to look. You get to see a lot of the script work from Tom King, which is really great for the hardcore fans who enjoyed this series so much and made it such a hit. And you also get to see a lot of the art process from Gabriel Hernandez Walta. Very interesting to see all this stuff because we normally don't get such a comprehensive look. This is actually one of the most thorough director's cuts I've ever seen made, and it's great because they're going to be doing the entire series in this format. So this is issues 1 and 2. It was a 12-issue run. It'll be a 6-issue miniseries as the director's cut. So if you are looking for a great book and you maybe missed out on Vision the first time, I have to recommend that you check out the director's cut. Then, of course, we've got Venom. Now we're focusing on Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is, of course, back in the saddle after the events of Venom 150. Very cool stuff to see what Venom is going to offer. Of course, this cover is a riff on Old Man Logan, where it was the Venom like T-Rex, but now this is a riff on it. Very cool. Continuing down, we've got the latest issue of Thanos from Jeff Lemire, and we're actually going to take a swing back up before we get too far and talk about some of the great collections. We have a Nate Powell omnibus collection. It's got a bunch of his different books. Nate Powell, of course, having worked on so many great hits, including the March series. Very great. We've got the collected edition of Divinity 3, which is great. It's an alternate version of the Valiant universe where it's basically communist Stalinverse, hence the title, Heroes of the Glorious Stalinverse. Very fun, very interesting take on the Valiant heroes. Then we've got the first trade paperback collection of Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. This is a sequel series to the original Secret Wars mini that launched this universe, and you get to see a universe where Spider-Man and Mary Jane did get to have their happily ever after. They're married, they have a child, and the young daughter is joining them in crime. With original writer Jerry Conway and Ryan Stegman on the art, it's very cool. Jerry Conway, of course, was a classic writer in the 80s, so seeing him work on the character again has been really fun. Then we've got the World of Wakanda trade from Roxane Gay and Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now, this storyline focused on the actual guard for Black Panther, so it's a Black Panther side story. If you're looking for some more Black Panther goodness after getting the trailer last week, this is definitely something I completely recommend. Ta-Nehisi Coates has been overseeing all the Black Panther books, and they're so good, they're so tightly done. Of course, we've got the first collected edition of the new Venom book that I mentioned before, and then we've got some Marvel Masterworks of some classic Spider-Man, and we've got the Bendis Crime Noir. Now, this is a super huge book. Very cool, very nice edition that features a number of his different side books. Bendis has, of course, been working with Marvel for so long that he's even found the time to do some interesting side projects. So these are maybe his lesser-known crime books. Very great reads. Then we've got some more Spider-Man collections, a Miss Marvel hardcover, and then we're going to swing right back down to some of the new releases that are out this week. We have Part 4 of the Screaming Citadel in Star Wars 32 by Jason Aaron and Salvador LaRocca. Very fun crossover between Dr. Aphra and Star Wars that is exploring new depths to the Star Wars universe that we previously had never seen. Then we've got issue 3 of Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. We can see Ben in his classic costume. I know that a lot of fans have been very vocal about loving the original Scarlet Spider and loving the classic interpretation of the character, so we get to see that back. Very fun to see Ben Reilly jumping into the saddle. Of course, Peter David and Mark Bagley are such an incredible creative team that you know it's a surefire hit. Then we've got the newest issue of Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, just like that trade we talked about before. We see that maybe things are going astray, and Mary Jane seems to have been infected with the Venom symbiote. So what could that possibly mean for her cute little family life? You'll have to check it out to find out. We've got the newest issue of The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, which I know is a favorite for many of our Midtown staffers. Absolutely hilarious book. Then we've got the newest issue of Secret Warriors from our buddy Matt Rosenberg with art by Javier Garron. This has been, bar none, my favorite tie-in with the Secret Empire series so far. It's been so cool, and you get to see how it spins out of both Resurrection and the current status quo of Secret Empire. We get to see some really cool stuff. Let's maybe take a flip and check out some of the great art by Javier Garron. He has a very fun style, and what I love is that they've been very good about differentiating the different time periods of the book. Very cool to see what characters pop up. Of course, the X-Men can't be too far because it is part of the Resurrection relaunch. Or not relaunch, but, you know, rebranding. Very cool. Very good book. Really love it. One of my favorite titles that Marvel's putting out right now, and I can't get enough of it. Then we have the newest issue of Secret Empire United, actually the first issue of it. It's a brand new miniseries focusing on many of the X-Men in this new Secret Empire world. So, of course, we see Magic here. That's right, that's Magic on the cover, knocking out some Hydra goons, taking charge, and it's great to see Magic getting some attention. For anybody who's excited for the new Mutants TV show that's being talked about right now, she has been cast, and Magic is going to be one of the leads. So if you want to find out about the character, this is a great place to look. Of course, we got to get to one of the biggest books Marvel's got this week, Secret Empire issue number 4. Now, after the crazy revelation at the end of issue number 3, the Marvel heroes are reeling as they find out that not only have they been betrayed by Captain America, but in fact, Hydra's reach goes even further, and we get to see some new characters brought into their fold that are very interesting and very different from what you would expect, and we get to see the return of Hank Pym / Ultron. Of course, the two of them have been kind of joined at the hip, you could say, ever since Uncanny Avengers, where we got to see, actually even going further back to the Rage of Ultron original graphic novel Rick Remender did a couple years ago. So now we get to see where he plays into this, because if this is going to be a Hydra World Order, you know it's going to have great impact even on the characters on the outskirts of America. Then we have the brand new issue of Old Man Logan, brand new creative team of Ed Bryson and Mike Deodato Jr. on art. We get to see, that's right, Old Man Logan facing off against Maestro Hulk. First time ever. Maestro Hulk has been lurking in the darker parts of the Marvel Universe ever since Secret Wars. He was in the Contest of Champions series, and now we get to see him attacking Old Man Logan, and we get to see a direct confrontation between the two of them. Days of Anger is the storyline, so if you're a Hulk fan and a Wolverine fan, this is a huge week for you, because the two of them are just, you know, hugging it out this week. Then we've got the newest issue of Miss Marvel. Then we have the conclusion of the Kingpin series, once again by Matt Rosenberg. This has been one of my favorite books from Marvel that they've been putting out. Really cool because it's a character study. You get to spend a lot of time with the character Wilson Fisk. Really interesting to see how much time they've spent with Kingpin in these last couple years, and I can't wait to find out more. Then we also have the brand new issue of Hulk from Mariko Tamaki, the author of this one, Summer. Really great book. I'm a huge She-Hulk fan. I don't know if I've ever actually put that out there, but I'm a huge She-Hulk fan. So any book with her, I got to check it out. I actually love this variant cover for Mary Jane Month that is a reference to classic She-Hulk covers, because She-Hulk has on more than one occasion threatened to rip up X-Men comics for the fans. The original fourth wall breaker, she beat Deadpool to the punch. Now we're going to move on down to some more cool covers. I love this David Nakayama cover for Gwenpool number 17 by Christopher Hastings and Guri Huri. Very cool, very fun series. And now the biggest book Marvel's got on the shelves this week, Defenders, brand new issue number 1 from the red-hot creative team of Brian Michael Bendis and David Marquez. If you are a fan of the Netflix universe and you want to see the characters, they're all right here. You get to see Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil teaming up together, and it's such a wonderful opportunity. If you read the free Comic Book Day issue, you got a preview of it. Maybe we could take a flip through and we can see some of Marquez's gorgeous art. Marquez, of course, worked on last summer's Civil War II, as well as doing a lot of work with Ultimate Spider-Man and a number of different titles. He's a frequent collaborator with Bendis, and this art is so cool. I love that he is so detailed without actually muddling up the page. This is a great title page, too, seeing them as like street art. And it's great. I'm not going to flip through too much and spoil everything, but we do, of course, get to see our characters introduced with some great title pages of their own, really introducing you to the full cast. Definitely something you will want to be checking out, and a book to keep an eye on, because any book that Bendis works on is sure to warrant a lot of attention. Bendis is such an amazing writer. You gotta be on the up and up with him. You gotta check it out as it's coming out. Then we're going to keep going down. We've got the newest issue of Deadpool, another great Mary Jane cover over there. And this issue, Deadpool wearing the Hydra green, you know something's up. Of course, he's working with Steve Rogers' new Avengers in the Hydra World Order that he has established. We get to see the fallout from last week's issue, or not last week, but 2 weeks ago's issue, where Deadpool was actually confronting some, let me say, favorite Marvel characters that we have all grown to love. So very interesting to see how Deadpool fits into the new Steve Rogers world. We've got the newest issue of Sam Wilson, Captain America, by Nick Spencer and Joe Bennett, of course tying in with Secret Empire as well. And then the third issue of Black Panther and the Crew. Really cool getting to see, like I said before, with Ta-Nehisi Coates, he's overseeing the entire Black Panther universe right now. So he is working on Black Panther and the Crew. Very great book. The newest issue of Uncanny Avengers, tying in with Secret Empire, because the Avengers have been tainted by Steve Rogers. They are now divided, and we get to see how his own personal team will deal with this betrayal of trust. We've got the first issue of Rai, History of the Valiant Universe. Very cool to see this great new series from Valiant. Valiant, everything they put out is so meticulously planned and so well done and thorough. Definitely something you'll want to be aware of. Then we're going to hit our Image stuff. Of course, right off the bat, we've got Winnebago Graveyard, a brand new Image #1 from Steve Niles. If you're a fan of his previous work, it's something you'll want to keep an eye out for. Then we've got the third issue of Rose. We've got this very cool Pride cover right here, which is very nice. Of course, there's a couple different covers. Take a look at that. By Meredith Finch and Iguara. Iguara's art is so good. Love Iguara. Loved back on Blue Beetle with the new 52. Really cool stuff. The new issue of Regression. And a personal favorite of mine, Motor Crush. Now, Motor Crush is great. If you have not been checking it out, this is your chance. It's the first volume, which is the first 5 issues of the series. It comes from Brendan Fletcher, Cameron Stewart, and Babs Tarr, the creative team that gave us the Batgirl of Burnside run that made waves across the comic book industry. It's really great. We get to see almost like Death Race 2000 type stuff, but with motorcycles and rally racing. Very cool to see how this new version of such a familiar trope has appeared. It's very cool, very fun, very fresh, and a favorite book of mine. I buy every single issue. I buy every single cover for every single issue. I'm addicted to it, and addiction is actually one of the themes of the book, as we see characters struggling with substance abuse as well. Very worthwhile. Cannot recommend it enough. And because it's Image, there's that nice $9.99 price tag. Makes it super easy to jump in. 5 comics for $9.99. You can't beat that. Then we're going to continue down. We've got the newest issue of Manifest Destiny and Kill the Minotaur #1. If you're into Greek mythology and you're into maybe seeing more of a fantasy book on the stands, this is your opportunity. Love, love, love the art on this book. And it's a brand new Image #1. You know how these books take off. And it's part of Skybound, which is the particular imprint that Robert Kirkman works with. So it's very good, and that's like a seal of approval in itself. It's got the double seal. It's got Image and it's got Skybound. You know that it's going to ensure a great read. The newest issue of Copperhead is out this week, as well as Black Cloud. And we've got the triple feature of Bitch Planet. This is focusing on side stories within the Bitch Planet universe. Really cool if you're a fan of that series. Kelly Sue DeConnick has been doing a wonderful job. This time we get to see a slew of new creators come in and play with the toys. Very fun to see how other characters are being fleshed out in this. Then we've got the tail end of Image with Birthright. And now we're hitting our IDW books. We've got some great stuff right off the bat with Transformers Salvation. Then we've got the newest issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 70. This book has been going for a while now, and it's such a great read. You get to see Old Hob is back. Very interesting because every time he pops up, it spells danger for the Turtles. It is one of my favorite books, probably my favorite book IDW does, because it's just so good, and they've done such a great job of handling the Turtles property. Then going down, we've got Revolutionaries. Of course, this is the Hasbro joint universe that they are now all working on together. Then we've got the new issue of Optimus Prime and the final issue of Gem and the Holograms. Simply outrageous, a wonderful read. Gem and the Holograms going for 26 issues and a number of side books. If you are a fan of, well, I was going to say if you're a fan of the movie, I'd be surprised. But it's a very fun series, very cool, and absolutely great read. Such a wonderful rendition of the original cartoon, and really something I cannot recommend enough. 100% seal of approval. Super fun book. Then we've got the newest issue of Back to the Future and 24 Legacy. And before we hit DC, I do have a couple of side books from the indies that I want to mention. First and foremost, we've got Jimmy's Bastards #1. Jimmy's Bastards is from Aftershock Comics and is a brand new series from Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis, of course, having worked on Preacher and a number of great books, and art by Russ Braun. We will be doing a signing for this book on Saturday at 1 o'clock at Midtown Comics downtown. That's 64 Fulton Street, downtown. Very easy to get to. He's going to be doing a signing with a number of fans. Great opportunity. Garth Ennis and Russ Braun will both be there. You should really check this out. This is our Midtown exclusive cover by Terry Dodson. Terry Dodson's fantastic rendition of the book. Really great. You got to check it out. If you're an Ennis fan, if you're a big fan of Russ Braun's art, you got to read this. You got to see what they've got going. And Aftershock is putting out hit after hit, so you really want to get in while you still can. Then we also have the brand new issue of Betty and Veronica. Betty and Veronica by Adam Hughes, one of the prettiest books you'll see. And there's two great covers here, so I grabbed them both. This is, of course, the Team Veronica cover. And then over here, we've got the Team Betty cover. Very fun to see that Adam Hughes is really enjoying himself with this series. Taking a flip through, you'll see that it is a love letter to the Archie universe. Adam Hughes is having such a great time, and it's so pretty. He very, very, very rarely does interior art, so I have to recommend it when he does. Adam Hughes is, of course, a great talent, and the Archie books have been so fun, I'm always going to recommend them. Then we have, from Lion Forge, we've got Catalyst Prime Excel. Now, this is the second book in their new Catalyst Prime universe. Of course, Noble being their first, which I talked about a little bit last week. This is by Joe Casey, who many people will know for his Deadpool books and his Spider-Man stuff, maybe Justice League. And then with art by Damian Scott, who I'm most familiar with because of his Robin work. Very cool. We get to see a young speedster in this new universe. I've really enjoyed what they've done with Catalyst Prime Noble, and the Catalyst Prime Free Comic Book Day one-shot was great. Excel is something you're definitely going to want to check out because Noble was selling out like crazy, and if Excel is anything like that, it'll fly off the shelves even faster because he's a speedster. You get it? I get it. So now we're going to talk about some of the great books from DC. Of course, Wonder Woman issue number 24. This is the conclusion of Greg Rucka's Godwatch storyline. Bilquis Evely on art. I love Bilquis Evely's art. Her Wonder Woman is actually currently my backdrop on my phone. Let's take a flip through as we get to see many things coming to a head in the book. Gorgeous art. Cannot speak highly enough about Evely. I really love what she has brought to the title. I don't want to flip through too much because I don't want to spoil for Wonder Woman readers, but if you're looking to get into the character, Greg Rucka's run on Rebirth has been so much fun, and it's all really easy to pick up. So definitely a book you want to be checking out because Wonder Woman is the hottest thing in comics right now. You want to be on this book. Then we've got the brand new issue of Titans by Dan Abnett and Kenneth Rocafort on art. Kenneth Rocafort's art is out of this world. He's one of my, I feel like I'm going through favorites this week. He's one of my favorite artists, and we get to see Kenneth Rocafort doing the Titans. Really cool to see him doing all these great books with DC. He's having a lot of fun, and you can tell that this is a love letter, that this is a passion project for him. Then we've got the first volume of Teen Titans. We've got Titans, Teen Titans, Titans, Teen Titans. Two different books, two different flavors. Teen Titans focusing on the younger heroes. But it's great if you're familiar with the cartoons because you do get to see Beast Boy, Starfire, and Raven all on the team. It's been really fun and a great read. Then we're going to continue down. We've got the newest issue of Superwoman, which has been a really cool series so far. Really great. Really cool seeing how it plays into the larger Superman universe. Then, of course, we have Supergirl, Escape from the Phantom Zone. Her team up with Batgirl. It's been going for a little while right now. Really great to see these young female characters teaming up. Often something that can be overlooked. The importance is through the roof. Then we've got the brand new issue of Suicide Squad. If you've been reading Suicide Squad, you know that this book has been crazy lately. Like, absolutely crazy. The characters that are popping up, you can see them right here on the cover. We have the emergence of Cyborg Superman in the Suicide Squad book. And I'm not going to say anything too crazy, but this newest issue of Suicide Squad is really important if you've been reading it because it features some really important character developments and some very dire consequences for the team. You want to read this if you are checking out the series. Then we've got the newest issue of Scooby Apocalypse, of course, by Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis. Very fun. modern reworking of Scooby-Doo. Then we've got this lovely Kenneth Rockford cover for Red Hood and the Outlaws. Scott Lobdell and Dexter Soy have been doing such a great job. If you're interested in maybe the wider world of Wonder Woman and seeing how the other Amazons react, you get to focus on Artemis here. Artemis comes from a separate tribe of Amazons, so she's got a little bit to differentiate her, and she's kind of more hardcore. I'll say that this book has actually been really fun because of the dynamic between the Dark Trinity of Bizarro, Red Hood, and Artemis. Really great seeing how they deal with one another. And Bizarro has become one of my favorite characters at DC in recent months because he's just, everything he does makes you so sad. He's got so much emotion, and he's such a great character. Really, really happy with where this book is going. Then we've got the second volume of Nightwing from Rebirth. Back to Bloodhaven. We get to see Nightwing going from Gotham to Bloodhaven. We get to see him revisiting his roots. If you're a fan of the 90s series, that's the place you're going to want to look. Then we've got the newest issue of New Superman, and I love this cover. Love this cover, the variant by Bernard Chang. Very cool series. You should be reading it. It's great because it's such a different take on the Superman mythos, examining it from what it would be like in China. Very great to see such a different product. Then over here, we've got some great books. Really cannot emphasize it enough. Really fun reads. We've got the Looney Tunes crossovers with the DC heroes this week. Now, this is going to be going throughout the month. Last week, we talked they were reprinting Superman and Bugs Bunny. This week, we get to see Bugs Bunny with the Legion of Superheroes and Marvin the Martian meeting the Martian Manhunter. These are both great reads. I absolutely loved it. Sam Humphries writes the Legion and Bugs Bunny, and it's really fun. We've got Steve Orlando over here with Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian, two completely different tales. This one is really, really weird and wacky, and if you're a fan of the original Legion book, this is an instant must-have. Of course, the Legion are one of those properties that have had less books in recent years, but DC seems to be hinting at big plans. If you maybe want to get more familiar with the property, this is a great opportunity. Same goes with Martian Manhunter, who has been somewhat on the sidelines post-Rebirth. This has him front and center. We get to see him really dealing with this weird, bizarre Martian counterpart of his. Great books, and I have to say, big surprise from both of them. This was really great because of just the weird interactions in Martian Brotherhood and its commentary on how they view the world. This was great because it had the weirdest editorial notes I've ever seen in a book, and I know that's a really weird thing to say, but when you read it, which you should, you will completely understand. The editor is a character all into itself. So much fun. Then we're going to take a swing. We're going to take a look at some of the great compilations that are up here. We've got The Adventures of Superhero Girl. Really cool widescreen book for you. We've got a Tomb Raider anthology. We've got this awesome hardcover for Predator. Really cool, collecting a ton of his stuff. And, of course, got to mention Batwoman. Once again, Greg Rucka, this time with J.H. Williams and Jock. Now, this is actually collecting material that has never been collected before. This is the original run of Batwoman that Williams and Rucka worked on before the New 52, but also features the Cutter storyline that Jock did the art for that was previously never collected. So if you maybe have the Elegy paperback, but you want those extra issues, this is something you'll need to have because it's got the most comprehensive Batwoman by Greg Rucka that there is. It's all of it. It's great. Then we've got the last volume of, or I believe this is the last volume of Detective Comics, right? Collecting through, yep, it collects through issue number 52, so this is the tail end of that series. Then we've got, for the first time that I've seen in paperback, Jeff Johns' Hawkman. I'm going to be honest with you, this is something you're going to want to check out. There's a lot of cool things going on with Hawkman. If you read the Death of Hawkman series, he's been getting a lot of attention lately, and it's Jeff Johns with James Robinson and Rags Morales. Such a fantastic team. You'll want to be on that. We've got the first volume of Mother Panic by Jody Houser. Really cool from the Young Animal line. If you like Doom Patrol and you already plowed through it like I have and you want something new to read, check this out. The Young Animal books have been so cool. Then we've got the Teen Titans Silver or Bronze Age Omnibus. This is the original team. So this is their appearances from way back in the day. Very cool to see the original material. Then we've got a paperback for Rom, as well as a very cool Pop Gun War graphic novel. Super great art on this. And then the first volume of Rockstars, some Savage Dragon, and some She-Wolf. Very cool stuff. Very cool to see that so many great books are coming out in such great collections. Now, swing it over to some of our DC stuff over here. We're going to go with Justice League of America. Justice League of America has been such a cool book because it focuses on so many of the characters that we know from the DC TV shows. So we get to see a lot of Vixen and Black Canary, but it's also got Lobo in the series, and Lobo I know has a ton of fans. You should be reading this if you're a Lobo fan because he's been getting great attention. Really fun, by Steve Orlando. Great series. Then we've got the newest issue of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. This one I'm going to want to take a flip through because Ethan Van Sciver is doing the art. And Ethan Van Sciver in Green Lantern is just like the best thing you can ever think of. I mean, honestly. Look at a page like that. And that's every page. Every page is just that gorgeous. It's been such a cool book. We get to see the follow-up. If you remember a few issues ago, we had this really epic brawl between Guy Gardner and Kilowog. So we get to see the follow-up on that and where those two characters are in the wake of such an attack. Then we've got the latest issue of Gotham Academy, another fun book from Brendan Fletcher, who does Motor Crush and who did Batgirl. Very cool. And we've got the newest issue of Flash. This is super cool because it's called The Color of Fear, and of course, that implies that it's both a crossover with Green Lantern, but also that The Color of Fear is yellow, which is the reverse Flash. We get to see the reemergence of Eobard Thawne. Very cool to see how he plays into this world, and I love it because this is referencing like some really cool continuity that hasn't been talked about in forever. Like, I'm talking like pre-crisis continuity. Like, this is stuff that nobody has been talking about for 30 years, and they're bringing it up, and I love seeing that there's so much care and detail in the series. Such a love letter to what The Flash has been. Joshua Williamson is doing a really fantastic job with The Flash. Then we've got Detective Comics. This is a brand new arc, Intelligence. This arc is going to spend a lot of time focusing on Azrael, who you can see here very astonished at what's unfolding in front of him. Really cool read. If you're a big fan of Batman playing well with others, Detective is the book because it's not just Batman. It's Batman, Batwing, Batwoman. We get to see Clayface. Clayface is a highlight in this book. I love Clayface, and in this issue, we get to see a really fantastic scene between Clayface and Cassandra Cain that I never thought I would say the words great scene with Cassandra Cain and Clayface, but it's so emotional in a weird way and so fun. I cannot recommend Detective enough. Such a cool book. Then over here, we've got the big book from DC this week that you got to check out. It's Dark Days, The Forge. Now, you'll see a slew of different covers. The main cover does have a foil tint. I don't know how well you guys can see that on the footage, but it's really cool. We get everybody that you can ever ask for on a book on this book. It's got Scott Snyder. It's got James Tynion IV. We've got art by Jim Lee and by John Romita Jr. and Andy Kubert. So cool. I have to flip through, but I got to be careful because some of the stuff in there I really don't want to spoil for you. Getting a chance to read this was a highlight of the week. So cool. And like I mentioned, we get to see some really cool stuff with characters that maybe we haven't spent as much time with. Here we get to see Aquaman looking epic with this flowing hair and a beard that he has now grown out, looking a little more like Jason Momoa, a little more buff, which I'm really happy to see. And it's such a cool book. That's all I'm going to show you, but we got some great stuff. Green Lantern, Batman. We get to see a character that I have not seen in a while popping up that I really liked. Really happy to see. Oh, and of course, I would be a fool not to mention that last page, though, because that last page is going to send shockwaves. We get to see a character reappearing that I know fans have been feverish for, especially since the revelations of Rebirth. Maybe I've said too much. Maybe I've said not enough. but you guys got to swing by, and you have to be checking out The Forge. Metal is going to be coming out this summer. It's a big book from DC. Keep your eyes on it. Then we're going to close things up. We've got Bug by the Allreds. And I say the Allreds because it's like everybody's Allred. We've got Mike Allred, Lee Allred, Laura Allred. Really cool, fun homage to the original Jack Kirby Forager material from the Fourth World. This is the main cover by Mike Allred. Really cool. This is the variant by Paulo Rivera. Really happy with the series, and just fun to see that DC has been giving so much love, and Marvel too has been giving so much love to these original Kirby characters. I'm really happy to see that unfold. We've got a brand new storyline in Birds of Prey, Source Code, starting off where we get to explore the brand new Oracle that has been hunting and haunting the team over these last few issues. Really great jumping on point if you're a fan of Batgirl or Black Canary, or just maybe looking for a book that'll give you your daily dose of female interaction, female characters teaming up. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey is a great read. You'll really want to check it out. Then we're going to wrap things up for DC with Action Comics. Here we see General Zod front and center. This is the Superman Revenge Squad, which is an old school like an old school idea that they did where it was all of the different Superman foes teaming up to take him down. And this does tie in loosely with what the Suicide Squad book has been doing, because General Zod, of course, has been a big part of that. Now, if you're looking to jump in and maybe see how these foes unite to take on the Man of Steel himself, you're going to want to read Action Comics. Really great. We've got Metallo. We've got Mongul. I love seeing all these great Superman villains that don't get enough attention. Love that they are popping up in this to take him down. You know, Superman can be knocked down a peg every now and then, just gives him an opportunity to rise up. So check out Action Comics. Then over here, we've got some cool books from Dark Horse. We've got the latest issue of Shadows on the Grave by Richard Corbin. We've got the long-anticipated Predator, Judge Dredd, and Aliens issue number 4. Love this series. Love seeing all these characters interact. We get 3 great properties here, all meeting, all interacting, all bloodied, and just having a visceral fight. Really great read. Then we've got Briggs Land Lone Wolves 1. This is, of course, a spinoff out of the main Briggs Land book. Very cool to see. And then we've got the latest issue of American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Love closing on such a pretty cover. That's a David Mack cover. Beautiful, beautiful work. Such a cool series, and really great to see that American Gods is getting adapted as a graphic novel, and very happy to enjoy it. So that's going to about do it here from Midtown Comics at Grand Central. I'm just going to remind you guys that we do have that signing this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And if you can't make it out to the signing, maybe you can check out our warehouse sale. It's going to be at 10 o'clock in Long Island City. It's right off of the Court Square G train station. So you can take the G out there. You can take the 7 out there. It's really easy. We're going to be doing a huge sale. We've got back issues. We've got action figures, statues, trades, all kinds of stuff that you're going to want to check out. And it's great opportunity for Father's Day coming up this weekend, or if you're looking for graduation presents, something you'll definitely want to swing by and check out. We always have a great turnout, and we love seeing you guys there. So check that out. Check out our signing with Russ Braun and Garth Ennis at 1 o'clock at our downtown store on Saturday. And come by the store and say, hey, you know, come by, find us here at Grand Central. We've got a fun, lively store here that you're going to want to enjoy. So hopefully swing by, read some comics, and happy new comic book day to you.